Welcome to part 2 of getting Ricci's ass together.
You're watching Q in the streets. Q in the streets. Said you're watching Q in the
It's Q in the street. I love everybody here. They've been good to me.
Tashina Arnold, and it's Q in the street.
I love that.
For Q in the streets, you need to make sure you go to his bio right now and click that link, okay?
What's up, y'all? Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Q. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Q. Buck back in the building with another video. Before I start, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and do what? Click that notification bell. I know y'all thought I was about to get on here and read my girl Ricci. But it's not even that kind of party, okay? Before we get down to the reunion, I don't care how y'all feel about it. If it was not for Ricci G, there will be no Chasing Dallas. So can we give a round of applause to Ricci G and the entire production and the entire cast, A and B and C and everything in between, cast members. Nah, no shade attached. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the entire cast of Chasing Dallas. You guys got through an entire reunion. That is, again, something I cannot say for the Chasing Atlanta cast. So, and that's no shade to Atlanta. I mean, y'all just got through a damn show. So, kudos to y'all. Wasn't as entertaining as part 1 because part 2, I feel like it was a lot of people talking over each other. Definitely a lot of miscommunication. Definitely a lot of miscommunication between production and cast and a whole lot of other just. But let me stop running my mouth. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Before I do, I know a lot of you guys saw the video last week. Sidebar, Black Lives Matter. I hope you guys are safe. Make sure if you guys are protesting that, you go back and watch my other videos that I talk about, my first experience being protest. What I was getting ready to say was I know a lot of you guys were probably trying to check in with me, see how I'm doing. Prior to me posting maybe about 2 weeks ago, I had 11 white cops with, guns to my face and, ramshacking my apartment and a whole lot of other jush that I'll get into. Matter of fact, go check out the other links. I'll put them in the description bar and we'll get into that later. But in the meantime, while we're here, let's get into this Chasing Dallas foolishness. Let's go. I got my notes, but sidebar, before I even get into anything, Ricci, I just want to say, hats off to you, my friend, because I don't think nobody else for this platform can tell you how it is to be a talent, and now myself stepping into the EP role. And now sidebar, I'm not getting ready to, before I give a spanking, I always like to give good critique, and I always like to make sure I do that first, because that's what my mother did me. She always made sure when she beat my ass, she told me why. So before I go down this road with Ricci, I do want to say that it is a very tough job. Now, the cat's out the bag. I am now the Chasing LA executive producer. So I haven't even been here, not even a good month, 2 months, and I'm just like already about to pull my hair out and I'm bald headed. So that can tell you how, my understanding for where Ricci is coming from. So before I get into my notes, I wanted to just read 2 very dope comments I seen tonight on Chasing Atlanta. All right, so one of them is from Speaking of Kate. She said, yeah, it's time for Ricci to pick a position or delegate things to people on his team. I know it's hard to trust people with your ideas, but it's beginning to interfere with your show. Ricci, let me tell you something. Me, as now the EP, I understand how putting your project and putting your baby in the hands of somebody else, but let me tell you something. And I'm not gonna make this video long because y'all didn't have a whole lot, going on tonight, so I'm not gonna make it long. But Ricci, man, we're gonna definitely get into it. But I speaking of Kate, I definitely agree with everything that she's saying. I am in your position, so I understand what it is and the capacity of the responsibility of what it is to be an executive producer of this particular franchise, because you're dealing with. We dealing, we being honest, this is a whole nother ball game, and it can become messy. And so Ricci, I think for me, I don't like to see you, the way that you were, in the reunion tonight, part 2, everybody's coming for your neck and everybody's coming for your neck. I want to say this, Ricci, I think everybody is telling you things to help you and to make this production be all of what it can be. And we all agree. First of all, shout out to Imani Vanzap again. We all agree with Imani Vanzap. We don't have to do what the other franchises do. So, this particular show has the ability to create its own lane. I know I feel like y'all blabbing, but I think Ricci got a lot tonight, so I feel like we gotta pour back into him. Well, at least I do. Some of y'all probably can't stand him and talk about his, Power Ranger outfit and all of that. However, I do believe in spanking and healing. So Ricci, I think everybody just wants to look out for you. This is another comment that I love tonight on Chasing Reality. Bakewan the Chef. This is why Ricci O'Neal needs to decide if she wants to be a cast member or producer, because the conflict of interest is affecting the quality of the show and the relationship amongst the cast members. Ricci G, I could not agree more, but at the same time, I got your back, Ricci. Let's get into this reunion. Chasing Dallas. First of all, let me tell you why I got your back, Ricci. Chasing Dallas, if the reunion started at 8:30 and y'all didn't start at 10:30, Ricci G, let me tell you why I got your back. Now myself being being an EP. First of all, anybody coming up under the Chasing LA franchise, let me just go on and say this now. If filming started at 8:30, filming started at 8:25, okay? I need that ass to be set in place and we ready to rock and roll and rumble. There's no reason that Ricci the EP or, anybody else is directing people on where to go. Now, it looks like there is a lot of, miscommunication with production and cast, but 8:30 to 10:30, I guess for me, I never experienced that with my Atlanta producers. Have I been late? Of course I have, but I don't know. I just don't see, and I guess that's why I love my production. And I feel like that's why Dario, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. If Dario say 8:30, if you not there at 8:30, he is moving on without you. That's just what it is. Me, let me tell you what I'm gonna be doing. If I say 8:30, that ass better be there at 8:30, okay? And that is what it is. And Ricci, I feel like if you establish that, make that known, and you abide by those same rules as well, we won't have this problem. So Ricci, I definitely feel that. I don't know. I'm not saying I won't tell you what you can and cannot do. All I will say is, me being not even in this position just a couple of months, it is a very heavy responsibility, and you are going to have to make a decision for your health, because what we seen tonight is not a good display of everybody, targeting Ricci. At the same time, Ricci, I can't just, blame cast and not give you no heat too. So with that being said, let's get into the review.
At what point do you take control, or your team takes control and says, you know what? This is how this flows. Because in the real world, if they was on real production and they was getting paid for that shit, they wouldn't be able to do that. So stop allowing them to take stuff and advantage of you.
So we getting into part 2 of the review. They discussed this New Orleans trip, and Ricci and George, they jump it off the first couple of minutes of the reunion. George basically clears up these blurred lines with production. Now, this is where Q's starting to jump on some heads. All right. Now, I don't know about y'all, but George seemed like he had a very valid story. Now, I'm not just giving George a pass because y'all know George is my Dallas show husband in my head. However, I just feel like Ricci's aura and position was reading, okay, he's getting me together and it is what it is. And I just feel like Ricci's, you can tell when a person's just the way they sitting, just his presence was like a chip on his shoulder, I don't want to be bothered with it. Yeah, that's what happened. I don't care about it. And at the end, Ricci was like, if you guys have concerns, bring them to me. And I feel, this is my opinion, I feel that these people have brung things to you, and it hasn't been, it's kind of been like, okay, well, it's accept or decline, and I decline, and it's kind of like, who wants to talk to somebody like that? It's kind of like, am I talking to castmate Ricci who doesn't like me, or am I talking to, is this the executive producer move? Like, I was so confused, and if I was George, you know, I'm glad that George, you know, basically aired it out what's been going on with production, because once George, regardless if y'all like George or not, I know a lot of y'all think George was extra, and I know he made some 9 to 5 comments, George, and we're gonna get into that in just a second. We coming up your way, George. But I'm glad that he called it out, because George and Carrie D and Dior and everybody started speaking up and start saying things, and it all was kind of making sense. Everybody was sitting back like, all right, now everybody can't be saying the same story. Ricci G. So when it comes down to these contracts and these blurred lines, sidebar, Ricci G, you reached out to George, 24 hours before the episode dropped? Y'all are still editing 24 hours before the episode drops? Baby, let me tell you, as Chase in LA, I can't handle that kind of I can't handle that kind of pressure. I cannot handle that kind of pressure. I'll just be too nervous. Like, I feel like I'll be to miss something. Like, something gonna be wrong, something gonna be out. So, you know, George released that, you know, he sent a message out to his friends in a group chat. And then Ricci turned around and wrote one of the friends on social media. And Ricci, I feel like this is why sometimes it's hard to have your back, because George is sitting here explaining to us and letting us know that you basically were just being shady. Like, you basically don't see it for George. You basically was being shady, even down to his friends, because we always, you know, Imani, I think Imani Vanzap called him FBI agent or FBI, you know, something funny she said. But that's how we all felt, because, you know, in one scene, they weren't blurred out. And even George said it. He was just like, you know, one of his friends have been filming the entire season without a release form. So, Ricci, this is why we feel like, you know, you don't see it for George. It's because, you know, Carrie, you sent a message to one separate friend, Carrie D's friend. It's kind of like, but why do you keep picking on him in these areas? It was just a lot that happened between you and George that we didn't know about. The 2 hours before the green screen, you know, you texting somebody or sending them an email 2 hours before the green screen. I don't know if you guys know anything about reality TV. It is a lot of time and makeup and hair and hairspray and all that carrying on back there. And so, and to hire a team and to hire a makeup artist, and you know, when you hire, especially, you know, the kids, child, they got 10 stylists, 10 makeup artists. So when people hire a glam team and you let somebody know 2 hours prior to green screen, Ricci, that's not right. And I feel like that's why George is calling this stuff out, because it's not professional at this point. It's just basically being picked on. And, you know, that scene, and then I think, he got y'all back. You know, George is, you know, nice, nasty, southern shade. When it was time for him to show up and do something, he was an hour late, and he was just like, listen, y'all late, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna let you know just how it feels to be unprofessional and disrespectful. So that was a good scene. So George and Ricci are going on and on and on and on and on. So we finally start to get down to some answers and some questions between George and Ricci. So basically, we do find out that George is basically pissed because he reached out to Ricci as an executive producer to say, hey, I don't mind doing the show. I don't mind the mess. I don't mind cutting up. I don't mind this. Listen, I only have 2 things. Don't do anything concerning my job. Don't do anything concerning my workplace. Don't do any, you know, I don't want to do anything that with my 9 to 5. Now, we can do, you know, the funeral home stuff, we can do that. But when it comes to my 9 to 5, where, you know, I guess that's his bread and butter, we're not going to play in that game, because, listen, he has a real corporate job that can be backed, and he don't have time to be losing it behind no YouTube. Listen, I'm all for that. Listen, let me tell you something. I think Ricci has a problem with George because George actually calls Ricci out to the carpet, just like tonight for the reunion, for instance. this is my personal opinion. You know, if George would have never said anything, I don't feel like nobody else would have said anything until George said something. So I feel that that's why Ricci has a problem with George, is because George he has that corporate mindset. He is going to say those funny things. And you know, there was another time when he checked Ricci, and he has said, you know, that he need to be reprimanded, but we're going to get down to that in just a few. But that was hilarious. So for George to have that leadership skill and leadership mindset, I feel that if him and Ricci were just in a place where they could work together and maybe say, hey, maybe we could implement this or put this type of procedure in place to help the cast, to help you, to help me, so that we're all on one accord. But like I said, a lot of miscommunication is going down in Dallas. Child, a whole lot of miscommunication started happening because George started cussing. George, Pastor Greenleaf, when did you start cussing? Huh? I mean, George said one curse word, and baby, it was on and on and on. I said, well, cuss, George. Well, cuss, okay? My voice is going out. Let me stop playing with y'all. But anyways, even with George expressing to his executive producer, Ricci, his concerns of doing the show, or, you know, not even doing the show, because at this point, he's on the show, and Imani Vanzap does a review, and George's, you know, personal name tag where he works was there, and George is like, listen, that's one thing that I asked you not to do. And Ricci basically is just like, you know, well, that was a paid advertisement and we can't edit it and bop, bop, bop. And Ricci, you know better. You know, I don't even have to fuss and holler and do all of that in this video for you to understand that Ricci. That's all I got for that. I'm going to leave that at that. Y'all drop down in the comments. Are you Team George or are you Team Ricci? Ricci and George and the production team. Do y'all hear my voice? That was the longest scene ever. Y'all could have cut half of that out. Excuse me. Skip right to the part where George and Ricci going back and forth about the meat of the subject and bounced it right on to Carrie. That scene was too long. God. Yeah. Child, speaking of, it's a cold day in hell when Carrie D start cussing. Carrie D, come on to the front, my friend. Carrie D versus Ricci, baby girl, baby boy. It was good to see a little bit of spark under Carrie D tonight. Like I was here for that. So basically, Carrie D, and it's not looking too good for Ricci. Carrie D basically, George hands the baton to Carrie, and Carrie takes it and he basically lets it be known he never even receives notifications when productions are canceled. What? Are you kidding me? First of all, let me say this as talent right now. If I show up to a filming and I have prepared and, you know, went and got a stylist and hair and makeup and all this stuff, and we traveled to go to filming with my money and my gas in my vehicle, and I don't receive a notification that filming is canceled, oh baby, it will be a problem. So I understand why Carrie D come to the reunion with guns a-blazing. And then, okay, I'm not gonna say that, I'm gonna hold it to the end. All right, so again, other cast members are chiming in and basically are amening and yesing Carrie D and everything that George is saying about, you know, films being not seen and not shown, and you know, what is this we hearing about? You know, if you know, and Dior expresses. Wait, before I even get to Dior, let me stay on. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to it. Dior even expressed that it was hard for him to show him doing hair and, you know, and letting that be seen on the show. Why is that hard being seen when that's what you do? The show is called Chasing Atlanta. So, you know, I don't understand why scenes aren't being shown. And if cast members are filming their own scenes, you know, we're all a working family over here, so we ain't gonna act like, well, I'm not gonna act like, y'all know I don't never speak for nobody. I'm not gonna act like that I ain't never recorded no scene and sitting it in and all that stuff like that. But for me to send my scene in and have camera people set up and to set up my own lighting and stuff and still not to be shown on the show, Ricci know that is a problem. So Dior, George, and Carrie D did have a very valid argument with that. That is unacceptable. Okay, Now George said he submitted 5 scenes. Okay, if all 5 scenes aren't shown, at least 2 got to be shown. At least 3, to be honest. If I recorded 5, what? Child, please. So Ricci let y'all know scenes could be accepted or declined. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. I don't know. If I was cast, I would have came with the same attitude. And this is the problem that I had with it. With speaking on attitudes, I feel like if Ricci would have got off this whole, he kept saying, but I'm delusional. I feel like if you would have listened in the moment, brother, and listen, this ain't me being being a a-hole up here trying to try to give you too much. I'm saying is, I even had to do it myself with Chasing LA just this week. Sometimes you have to take a back seat and listen. I don't know why I pointed here. You need to listen. You need to listen. And I feel like if you weren't so caught up on the word delusional, Ricci, and you actually would have apologized to your cast and taken a little bit of accountability, then they would have heard you out more tonight. And that's why I don't even have a lot for the review, because it was just a lot of back and forth. Like, I don't even feel like I'm being funny tonight. Like, it just feel like it was a whole bunch of fussing going on. But Carrie D spoke up about losing scenes, and even you said, even in that comment, when Carrie D said, he had came, and Carrie D had one of the most fiery scenes, his studio scene. I talked about that scene. That was a good scene. That was a great episode, period. But anyways, even when Carrie D expressed to you how he felt about you losing his scene, and then for you to respond and say, oh yeah, I found it via emails, I found it down up in there somewhere, like, Ricci. But child, let me tell you, but took my breath away. When George told Ricci that she needs to be reprimanded.
It sounds like she needs to be on a step 2 corrective action plan. She needs to be wrote up.
Y'all, when George told Ricci that she need to be wrote up, that was the funniest thing I have seen in the whole reunion tonight, because I screamed, because that pissed Ricci off so bad, and everybody else had started laughing, and that's why I said Ricci, she can't stand George. But anyway, so Dior says that Ricci can't handle being production and cast. So, child, that just dropped the bomb, and it's just a lot going on in that scene. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know. Do you guys feel that Ricci needs to make a decision, make a choice? Are you guys team Dior, George, and Carrie? Or do you guys feel that they need to relax and, let Ricci be a one-man band and, let her do her thing? But this is another reason why, going down deeper into the comments, into the conversation, Ricci, this is where it was hard to kind of side with you. When you said, George basically let you know, like, hey girl, if you got 3, if it's 3 production people, because once Dior said you need to pick, and so George comes behind Dior and says, if you got 3 cast members, if you not rocking with me and you don't want to go, send one of them. Ricci turns around and says, girl, production didn't want to go. Ricci, production don't tell you what they want to do. Production don't tell you what scenes they do and which ones they don't want to do. So which ones do they want to do? Only the ones that you in? Because that's all we saw this year. That's not right. That's not fair. That comment was selfish. That's not right. And so for you to say, oh, well, they didn't want to go. Well, let me tell you something. I can't speak for nobody else. But for anybody who think they're going to apply for Chasing LA, let me tell you something. If you feel like you don't want to do something, well, I say, let me tell you what you can do. Take your ass home, period, okay? Again, I just really wish Ricci would have had some accountability and apologize to his cast tonight and apologize to, the fans. It's kind of like, listen, next season, I promise to do a better job with taking everybody else's feelings and consideration and, into this. I promise to show everybody's actually working. And you know what? Tonight, I may make a decision. As of right now, it may be up in the air for me or for me or me not to be cast and talent. I'll make that decision. But for right now, if I drop the ball with that cast, I do apologize. Ricci, we would have been here for that, but you didn't do that. So y'all take a break. Child, Styles by Howard come. We finally wake up, child. I felt like King Kang, I was yawning boots. I felt like y'all could have halved a lot of that and we could have got more juice. There was so much that this reunion didn't get to because we were so, again, hung up on stuff dealing with Ricci. And Ricci, we understand that that was something, and production, period, because it just wasn't Ricci editing. We understand that that was something that we could have, that was supposed to have been taken care of, but that was so much other stuff that we didn't get down to. You know, I would have loved to see King Kang and Ariel talk because Ariel had a lot of heat for him at the Last Supper. I would have loved to see Antonio pop up and have a conversation with Ricci. I would have loved to see a little bit more of King, you know, I think once King Kang and Styles by Howard, I would have loved to see a little bit more of that. So I just feel like there was a lot missing with this reunion. There was a lot missing with George. There was a lot missing with Markel. There was a lot missing. But anywho, we just gonna work with what we do have. Styles by Howard arrives, comes back. So they basically jump into the whole stuff comment before. Right before they get into anything. We're not gonna stay on that for too long. Ricci talking about he put an emoji in the comments. He didn't know that that was gonna cause that much you know, confrontation. You knew it was gonna cause some type of comeback or to say something that wasn't your post. You know that there was gonna be some type of reaction. So if you're gonna have a reaction, and this is another thing that I think that is a little, you know, that I think Ricci sometimes puts it out there, and so when they bringing all that heat back, you know, even the whole emoji, if you didn't feel like you was stuffed, you don't have to respond to everything. And so Ricci, this is why we feel that, and you probably gonna send me a text after this, and that's fine, but I have to be honest, this is why we feel that you may need to take a season off, or just maybe take a few episodes off or something to give yourself a break. It's a lot happening. It's a lot of emotions. It's just a lot going on. But anyways, and this is another, I mean, the whole reunion was about Ricci. So if y'all feel like, well, Q, why you just on Ricci here? I love Ricci. I really do. Like, I look up to Ricci. It's a lot being an executive producer, but this is all that we talked about. So this is all that I got to cover. So, here it is again, Ricci and Styles by Howard start going at it. Styles by Howard let him know, like, girl, like, you tried to snub me more than one time. You tried to snub me. First of all, you got me sitting back here like I'm a husband. Styles by Howard, I don't really know. Maybe it was for, but Ricci talking about it was a look. I don't know about all that, because y'all could have squeezed her over there in the couch with y'all. I don't know if the stage was big enough to have another seat on the end like Ariel had. I'm not sure. Anyways, Styles by Howard let it be known that Ricci G pretty much snubbed him again with this whole replacing him with King Kang or something like that, trying to build scenes with King Kang and Ricci. Again, that sounds good, and we want to for you, but here it is again. This is why you don't like George, because George says, well, Ricci, if you want to do that for King Kang and you was trying to help somebody else build something, why weren't you doing it helping build storylines for everybody else? He had a point. So this is what I do want to address when it comes to Styles by Howard. People always say Styles by Howard is childish and he's this and he's that. I definitely feel that Styles by Howard, I know what it is to be hungry and nobody is giving you a slot in a position. So he is hungry, and I have said that in my previous videos. However, Styles by Howard, tonight I was gagging when someone said, here goes Styles by Howard starting to be a little brat. So when you started crying, I was about to be like, little brother, get yourself together. You was just outside, all that. We don't know what conversation you and Ricci had, but it seems like you guys have come to an understanding. What conversation y'all had? Y'all seem like y'all okay. You know, maybe he gonna, let you be A-cast next year. And that's another thing I want to address. I feel like this whole B-cast situation is lame, whack, corny boots. make Styles by Howard main cast. That boy about more than some of the main cast that you had up there. And looking at the reunion, is a lot of people that was a whole quiet during the reunion. So whether y'all like Styles by Howard or not, I was actually glad to see him come back onto the stage because I felt like King Kane, boots, child. So it was a few of them on both couches who I feel like could go and give Styles by Howard they peach any day because he brings the drama, whether y'all like it or not. It's entertaining, and he's actually showcasing stuff. So that's all I'll say to that. But again, y'all can call him. Y'all can call him. I did want to say something though with the whole brat comment. I said that because Styles by Howard, I gave you a little praise, I gotta give you a little spanking. Ricci did apologize to you. He was trying to say, listen, we had a conversation off camera. I thought we were good, but here it is that you bring it up here. So clearly we're not good. So, but again, Ricci, I think he was just putting it out there again because we having a private conversation, but this is the way that you've done and addressed me publicly. So yes, ma'am, I'm gonna get you. Yes, ma'am, I gotta let the people know the conversation that you told me privately, or I want to bring it privately to make sure that you bring that same energy on camera. Because what a lot of people do is, I hate that I'm talking with my hands. Let me stop because I'm saying about me. I feel like I was in my own green screen because I know how chasing Atlanta do. It'd be a whole lot of kicking off camera, and then when it come onto the camera, it'd be a whole, you know, it'd be. So anywho, so Carrie D, not Carrie D, child, all these names. Styles by Howard addressed the whole King Kane situation. Ricci G apologized. Ricci G, I felt like if round 2 you just apologized, gave us a little bit more of that, we'd have been here for it. Imani Vanzap always give great advice. Again, I said that earlier. She pretty much just says, listen, we have a lane of our own and fighting is cool, but I think we as the audience, me as talent, me as now an EP, I would love for the franchise across the board. I know that's one thing that we as a franchise, the Chasing LA side of the franchise plan on doing is showcasing those 9 to 5s because that is what the franchise is about. That's what this brand is about, is all of us starting from nothing. If you had a little bit, if you had more than others, whatever you had was all on the same playing field, positioning ourselves to chase our dreams and show the world. And we just thank Imani Vanzap for her wisdom because she was just like, listen, we have a lane. Y'all can fight, that's bickering and stuff, all that stuff is cool, but let's not forget the purpose of the show. That pretty much wrapped up everything in that moment, you know, with Styles by Howard because he did get emotional. I love that the cast wrapped their arms around him as like brothers and sisters. It was like, hey, you know, we love you, this, boom, boom, boom. That felt good. And I felt that they would have given the same thing to Ricci if he would have been willing to accept it. But I forgot which one of them said it. I think it was Markel. Yeah, it was Markel now that I think about it. Markel said last week, a person has to be willing and be in a position to hear you out and be there and want to accept what you're giving and all of that juice. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, anyway, they bring out this spoon. I don't know why y'all brought that red spoon out and y'all all dressed up and everything, but y'all brought this red spoon out. It was what it was. Everybody passed the peach. They pretty much talk about their experience on the show, all that good carrying on. Will they be, what they expect for the new season and all of that. So everybody talks, everybody shares their thing. I'm not gonna break down everybody just. What I'll say is, shout out to the whole cast. That's all the notes that I have. I'm looking down at the bottom again. Yeah, everybody talked. They passed the spoon. Yeah. So shout out to the cast of Chasing Dallas. Shout out to Ricci G and the entire production. Ricci, you know you're my boy. So whatever, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what I've said to anybody in my review this season, I want to give you guys a kudos because this is not an easy task. It's not just propping up some phones and just recording and da-da-da. It's a lot that goes into this show. You guys made it through an entire season 2. With that being said, y'all up here talking about y'all ain't doing no season 3 and all that bull crap. Wah. First of all, it ain't up to y'all, okay? So I don't care what you talking about, Ricci. Take a break, okay? Go get you some rest. Take about 2 or 3 months off. Let everybody go recoup. We'll see y'all for season 3. We ain't even trying to hear all that. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know how you guys feel about Chasing Dallas season 2. Again, incredible season across the board. I think my critiques are a little bit more harsh because, you know, I am talented. I've been here for a while and now EP, so I kind of see both sides. So that's why, you know, my reviews may not seem as funny and reading and all that other stuff like everybody else's. I kind of just like to just run it down and just kind of, you know, like to talk about it and run both sides. Anywho, let me shut up talking so much. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my videos. Subscribe to Chasing Atlanta. Follow the cast. I don't know when Chasing Atlanta is coming out. I don't know when Chasing LA is coming out. None of that. So just follow the cast, follow the brand. Stay tuned. Incredible job. I am proud. So, all right, y'all. Follow me all on my social media sites at Quentin T. Harris. And I guess I'll see y'all for Chasing Atlanta review. Yeah, drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all want me to cover Chasing Atlanta, or would that not be biased, you know, because I was on the show. Y'all let me know. And that's up to y'all. Bye.